On today's show, we're going to Gilbert, Minnesota for an event called the Scuba-palooza. What treasures do we find under the waves? The answer coming up. Next, we explore a day in the life of the angle.
Hello, Mr. Fred.
The Northwest Angle, that is. How exactly did this chunk of land end up in Minnesota, sticking up into Canada? We'll find out.
Nice little twist from your traditional shoreline lunch.
And Laura Shera steps out of the kitchen and into the great outdoors. But what's on the menu? Well, a little hint. A little coconut and a favorite Minnesota fish. And our Minnesota Bound Classic this week features the language of fishing. At times, it can be a little confusing. Is it Rapala or Rapala? We'll have the answer. Those stories and more next.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hi everybody, Raven and I welcome you to the show. And our first story is about a sport that I took up because I wanted to find out what the fish were doing under the water. That's scuba diving. Well, in Minnesota there's a big event called the Scuba-palooza. Can you believe that? It's hard to say because my mouth's full of water. Travis Frank has the story.
Nestled in the wilds of northern Minnesota's Iron Range, there lies a hidden gem. Lake Orbegon, near the town of Gilbert, Minnesota, pays homage to the area's mining history while boasting many beautiful sights. The most surprising of which lies below the surface of this crystal clear water. It's summer, and an annual event called Scuba-palooza has drawn in scuba divers and adventure seekers from across the Midwest.
Scuba diving is an adventure. Every time you go, every destination you go, it's an adventure. The whole concept for Scuba-palooza is just to get the diving community together, to create more of an emphasis on getting out, having a fun time scuba diving, and getting to see beautiful places in Minnesota. Gilbert's fantastic.
They come to explore this stunning body of water.
Lake Orbegon is one of the best diving lakes in Minnesota with a lot to see.
A natural marvel created by man. Back in the late 1800s, this lake didn't exist. Instead, it was bare land full of precious iron ore. With muscle and machine, a pit mine hundreds of feet deep was carved into the landscape. When mining ended, flooding took over and a lake was slowly born. Hence the punny name, Lake Orbegon, a new gem for underwater exploration.
You know, typical lakes are muddy, and your visibility in Minnesota can be, 5 to 10 feet. When you get to these iron ore pits, specifically Lake Orbegon here, visibility is fantastic. 20, 25, 30, 35 feet.
Lake Orbegon provides divers with the clear water. Event director Steve Philbrook sends them on a treasure hunt below.
It's a medallion hunt. We set 15 medallions. If you find one, you can win some great prizes.
For the divers on this treasure hunt, the lake offers a lot to explore.
There's a lot of different things to see, a lot of aquatic life. The underwater forests are really cool to go through, especially when the sun beams are dancing down on them. And
some of these views are natural. Others have been placed by man.
There's a World War II fighter plane, there's a twin-engine airplane, there's a Huey attack helicopter. A lot of interesting stuff to see.
Divers of all skill levels can agree.
Well, I actually just got certified yesterday. But when you get in the water, it's actually really relaxing, and it's like, this is no big deal. It's really awesome.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff to see. There's some train cars on this side, and a Jeep, and a bus over here, and then a helicopter in the middle.
It's fun. This is our first one. We actually just got certified in May. Found the Jeep, lots of fish around the Jeep. Really cool. I found a big bass that had a crawfish in its mouth. This is Scully. She's gone kayaking, boat rides. She can swim, but going down would probably not be the best for her.
Minnesota scuba divers celebrate all that Lake Oregon has to offer. Camping, cliff jumping, and swimming to depths few ever get to see.
The cool thing about diving is you get underwater and it's just so surreal. It's so quiet, peaceful. You can see the light rays dancing through the water column, fish swimming by. It's just a place you can go and get away and just enjoy the beauty this world has to offer. Just play where most people don't get to play.
There's only a few residents that call this place home year-round. Life on the Angle coming up.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers, Connecticut, Ellsworth Creamery, and by Borderview Lodge.
Welcome back. You've all seen that little finger of land that sticks up in northwest Minnesota. It's called the Northwest Angle. But what's that all about? Travis Frank went there to find out.
At the end of Minnesota's northernmost road, bears outnumber residents, and modern life gives way to island life. Minnesota's Northwest Angle offers a rugged yet peaceful setting for those that call it home. Covering nearly 600 square miles of Lake of the Woods wilderness, the Angle, as locals call it, became U.S. soil thanks to a map-making error way back in 1783. The only way to reach this chunk of land is by boat, plane, or a long drive through Canada. The distance is one thing, but it's the way of life here that really sets the Angle apart. Overlooking Lake of the Woods, Minnesota's only one-room schoolhouse sits ready for another school year. Mrs. Lamy and her students arrive to class each day by boat. In the winter, they drive a snowmobile. Their class size hovers around a half a dozen. Out on the big lake, a handful of hardy souls call the island's home. Dan Schmidt operates Flag Island Resort. He's one of only 6 people who stay here 365 days a year.
It's better to go look for fish than to sit there and wait for them. They're always biting somewhere on this lake.
Sharing his wisdom comes easy after 40 years on the job.
Everything you could possibly want out of a freshwater lake, it's all here. So when I was here as a guest, I hung around too long, so you know how it is. If you hang around too long, certainly they put you to work.
He works hard to give visitors a taste of the home he loves so much.
It's kind of like farming, you look out and you go, man, it feels so good to, to live here and survive here and make a living here. You feel proud of, as you're building it up bigger and better. And is it easy? No. Is it rewarding? It's the most rewarding job in the world.
But he's not alone. Fred Caravetta delivers mail to these islands, rain, snow, or shine.
In the wintertime, when it starts freezing up and I can't break the ice with the boat anymore, I've got to switch to an airboat for however long it takes until it'll support a snowmobile, and then we'll go to the snowmobile for the winter.
Hello, Mr. Fred.
Don McClanathan takes it from there.
a rather small post office. We're only open from 10 till noon on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We service the islands and the resorts in the area. That's all covered by 49-cent stamp.
7 resorts operate their business out here. All of their goods arrive by water. At the Angle, life stands almost as it did the day settlers first built here. This wilderness is remote and vast, but the community remains small and loyal.
I mean, we're all our own fire department. Same thing for rescues. We'd share cooks, we'd share dock help, bartenders, whatever we got to do to help each other. If you support each other, it's a win-win for everybody.
Up here, life revolves around the people, the land, and of course, the fish.
Fish on!
Nice.
Feels pretty decent.
First fish, good man. Oh, I got one. I got one.
Ooh, that one looks better than this one.
Yep, I think this one's a little better. It's a nice walleye. I'll get him. Come here, come here.
Look at that.
We don't need a net.
The angle is kind of more important to me than anything. I mean, it's if I can just get the message to people that, you know what, it's really not that hard to get here, and once you come to the angle, why would you go anywhere else? I mean, it's all here.
Once you visit, you'll understand. Some chickens he has.
Soup's on. Let's see what we got here.
How about a soup recipe that's perfect for the warm days of summer? And get this, you can make it outside over the fire.
Little shore lunch.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Yard.
It's time now to go wild in the kitchen. Laura Shera and Chef Jim have a recipe for walleye. What's not to like about that?
Today we're getting wild in the outdoor kitchen, as you can see, and we are putting a twist on a shoreline favorite, which is walleye. And I'm here with Chef Jim Kinberg from Firelight Grill House and Cocktail Bar. And Chef Jim, we are doing an international flavor of Thai coconut walleye soup.
We are. It's really good, ton of flavor. Nice little twist from your traditional shoreline lunch.
Absolutely. This would be great for a shoreline dinner, in my opinion. So how do we get started?
We're gonna get started. We've got some coals going over in our campfire. We've got a nice, it's kind of a Dutch oven kind of skillet. And we're gonna take this right over to the coals and get started.
Let's do it. So we're putting it right in the coals and not on the cooking grate.
Not on the cooking grate. We want that direct heat for this one. We want to get nice and hot.
Hence the need for the handle.
Exactly. So we're gonna put just a little bit of olive oil down on the bottom. Here we've got some onions, we've got some fresh ginger, a little bit of lime zest. You can just smell those aromatics doing their job already.
Certainly can. All right, well, we're not drinking coffee here. We've got some red pepper.
Yeah.
Throw it down in.
Put it on in.
And then also some carrots. Look at that.
So now that our vegetables are kind of softening up a little bit, we want to add some liquid to it. So for liquid today, for this recipe, we've got some chicken stock.
Add that right on in there.
Pour it right on in. And then a can of coconut milk too, if you want to dump
now
that in for me.
This is the good stuff.
There
right
you go.
Here.
There's where all that flavor comes from.
Look at that.
And this curry paste, this is what really gives it that nice authentic flavor. And it does have some heat. This is a red curry paste, so use as desired. A little bit goes a long way. Guess what goes next?
The walleye.
The walleye. So we're gonna give that a little seasoning, just a little bit of salt.
Whoops, there we are.
That's all it takes. And then I always like to put a little greens, whether it's spinach, we have some kale today, chard, if you want to wild forage some greens.
And how long does this cook over the coals?
It's gonna take about 15 minutes, depending upon how hot your coals are, but it doesn't take long. So we're just gonna give it a little bit of stir. We're gonna
Perfect for hungry campers.
There you go, put the lid on it, set it and forget it.
Soup's on, Jim.
Soup's on, let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that.
Wow, my goodness.
There you go. Who wouldn't love to eat that on their little shore lunch?
I certainly would.
To finish it off, we're gonna squeeze just a little bit of lime over the top. And I was out in the woods this morning, look what I found. This is wild sorrel or wood sorrel. And it's got a nice little lemony burst to it. So typically these soups are finished off with cilantro, maybe some green onions. We're gonna finish it off with a little something wild from the woods.
All right, well, if you want to get internationally wild in the outdoor kitchen, try something new, a Thai coconut walleye soup. Thanks, Jim, this looks amazing.
Hence the name, jerkbait. Next up, our Minnesota-bound classic deals with the strange and sometimes downright funny terms that anglers love to use.
You got to go with a jerkbait.
Minnesota Bound, brought to you by Jesse Treble's Safe Basements of Minnesota, Beano in the Valley, Open Air Solutions, Maui Gym Sunglasses, and by Evinrude, the official outboard motor of Minnesota Bound.
Time now for our Minnesota-bound classic. Let's put it this way. Do you know what a backlash is? Well, if you don't, you'll get one someday. But that's part of the terminology of fishing. Backlash and who knows what. It's time you learned. Once upon a time, fishing was a simple pastime. Cane poles and bobbers, hooks and sinkers, and a few worms for bait. But those days have gone the way of rowboats. The fish might not be smarter, but anglers talk like they are.
You want to catch big fish, then set your drag. You don't set your drag, all you're going to do is cry because he broke your line.
Drag. Well, our fishing expert isn't talking about how you dress. Drag is merely another name for your reel's automatic braking system. And you should adjust the drag. You can do that back here, but you adjust the drag to make sure your fishing line doesn't break when you have that big fish on the end of your line. Thank you very much, Raven.
Use a buzzbait to fool old bass. A buzzbait don't work, try crankbait.
Buzzbaits, crankbaits, don't let those fancy terms fool you. Buzzbait is just named that way because when you cast it out and retrieve it, it buzzes on the top of the surface. A crankbait is named a crankbait because you cast it out and simply crank it in.
Hey, did anybody see my Rapala?
She's looking for her Rapala? This might be the most popular lure in America, but most anglers can't pronounce it. It's Rapala, as in Lori Rapala, the Finnish man who hand-carved this lure, the original one, and it's the one that the fish can't resist.
You know, to find fish, you gotta find structure. It's a fact. Without one, you don't have the other. Fish need structure. Babe Winkleman knows it. Alphonse Lintner knows it. They all know. Fish, structure, hand in hand.
Structure. Now, what's structure? Well, structure can be any change in the lake bottom or river that attracts and holds fish. Examples might be a point or a drop-off or a sunken island. Today's anglers call those places structure. Your granddaddy used to say it was just a good place to fish.
So then you're serious about nailing a gal-dang muskie, friends. You got to go with a jerkbait. A jerkbait works. But hey, Shara, you genius. Who did they name the jerkbait after, huh? How about that, smart guy?
A jerkbait? What's a jerkbait? Well, for some, it could be bait on one end of the line and a jerk on the other. But no, a jerkbait is simply a type of lure that has no action of its own. You simply jerk it or twitch it through the water, hence the name jerkbait.
So that's what a jerkbait is, Ron. I'll tell my good fishing friend Gil when he gets back from the sportsman show up north where he's wrestling Godzilla, the giant muskie. Hope you learned a lot from us today.
Well, speaking for Gil and Finn, I hope you did too. I'm Ron Shera, Minnesota Bound. Well, it's great the way anglers talk, but going back to that backlash idea, you gotta put brains in your thumb to prevent those, all right? Well, that about does it for us. Remember, introduce a kid to the great outdoors. I'm Ron Shera, and of course, the star of the show always. Yeah, she knows it too, Raven, huh? Gosh, oh God.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. For For more information on these stories and more, catch us on the web at mnbound.com. Share your stories on the Minnesota Bound Facebook page under the Share Your Story tab.